Let's go to 1972, where you had some really remarkable experiences at the Olympics as a 20-year-old. And first of all, let's go with the most brutal and difficult thing that's probably ever happened in the Olympics. You happened upon a terrorist attack against the Israeli Olympians, if you'll tell us this.
We're staying in like one of the apartment units, and we hear it's gunshots, and I think it's fireworks, and Kevin Joyce says, no, that's gunfire. We're all, anxious about what's going on, and then of course as we come down to breakfast, we realize it's under siege. We started looking at pictures, and I was saying, well, I had lunch with him, and I had breakfast with him, and we ate at the same mess hall. Canadian guys, their room was right dead even with the Israelis in the second building. There's a building that was here, I was here, the Israeli building here. So you want to go back and see it? And I said, sure. I mean, I was that, 20 curious. And so we went back, and then there was like cameramen all over the place in these rooms, in these athletes' rooms, because I mean, had been no security at this time. And they were taking pictures of there, and you could see the terrorists walking back and forth in the green leisure chute and stuff like that. I'm going and you could see the Uzi in his hands. I'm going this is not a very safe place. So I left pretty immediately. But then again, of course, all that was cleared out as the German police and soldiers began taking over the Olympics village. First day, first 24 hours, we went to McGraw, shot, sat around. The next day, they said you either have to stay in your room, not do anything, or you can go into Munich and see the town. And so I was on the train back to the Olympic Village, and I was in the very last car. And the only way I can really explain that this happened was the Olympic station was so full. Now before you only needed one piece of ID. Now you needed all three pieces. You needed your armband, your tag, and your ID. And so it was a log jam there at the station, probably 200 or 300 people in there. So what happened is the train stopped short of its marks. It was two Brazilian players, the center and the big forward, big guys, and we were in the last car by ourselves. And when our door opened, we walked out, and that there was the barricade with the German soldiers facing the crowd. Well, we were behind the crowd, and the double metal doors were right there, and you could see through the glass, and I could see through the parking lot that nobody was really there, and the garage door entrance to our building was just right there. That's the way we'd been going in and out the whole time. As we're entering the garage, a German soldier would come up to me, and he said, young man, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. I said, what? He said, we're bringing out the hostages right now. So I looked to my left, and then the two Brazil players were laying down, face down in the parking lot, and they had soldiers with guns in their back. He said, you face that wall, which is the wall of the garage. And then all of a sudden we start hearing motion behind us. When I start hearing motion, I look, and there's the Israeli terrorist. He steps out from behind the wall, one of the corners, and I look at him, and he looks at me, and it's probably 30, 35 feet or something like that. And the German soldier takes the gun out of my back. He sticks it in the back of my head, and he says, face the wall. And I can close my eyes, and I can see those blemishes in that concrete right now. And then as they start walking behind me, I can hear the young men, a couple of them are crying. Hostages are leaving the security of the Olympic Village. So you can sort of tell they have their fate sealed. I can hear the Arabics snapping commands, and I can hear the feet shuffling, and I can just hear all that, that motion behind me. But really, I wake up at night sometimes just in fright and in terror, dreaming about those young men, and because within 45 minutes they're all going to be dead. I can just hear their emotion as right now. It just tears me apart. Just as I hear their emotion, I think about their families, and they're just walking into their death.